Item number 14, report of the Housing Committee. The first item on the agenda is the Facilities Rebuild Program Social Housing Status Update, moved by Glenn Livingston, seconded by Pauline Cotter.
You like
Mr. Livingston,
Thank
I
you.
presume.
This is me. You'd like a quick overview.
I love saying
You like saying that. Thank you. I'm hoping at this point we may have a photograph on the screen just to give you a visual update of the Knightsbridge Lane intensification with 8 additional units in Aranui. This is Pages Road. I've just several photographs asked for one.
You popped out there for take some photos in your lunch break?
No, our staff did, so yeah, it's looking good. Hopefully it will appear at some point. What I'd like to say is that, so that's proceeding. We're pushing on the priority of getting closed units open.
Very nice.
There we go. I think the target date is February for those. So that's 8 units on existing council land there.
So that's 8 additional units?
8 additional.
Right.
Yep.
So, and how many were there originally?
Can't remember. Is it 16 or 12? 22.
22.
We're way off.
So we've gone from 22 to 30. Well, that's good. That's good. Well done.
Yep.
Excellent.
Thank you. Pushing on getting our closed units open, we're looking at 75. There's, I think, 59 that are kind of within reach, but the others I call a bit sticky. They'll take a bit more to get open. The waiting list has decreased. It's now, from June that is, although it's up from the July figure, it's 288, of which we have 21 in category A, which is your most urgent, immediate need. That's the first part of that report before we get to the financial section.
Great. Okay.
You want to take that?
I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.
Okay.
And the next bit is for the social housing financial status update, and Councillor Livingston moves and Pauline Cotter seconds.
There may be questions, but perhaps if I just highlight that a report is being prepared on the most effective use of the $15 million interim payment from the Earthquake Commission. So that will be coming to us in October. I think we were hoping a bit sooner, but it's a big report, so that's coming October. Are there any other questions about the financial?
Yanni?
We might want the staff to...
Oh, would the staff like to come up to the table? And
Probably I'm a bit of a broken record. Every month I ask this question, but EQC, Global Settlement, just trying to understand how progress is going, when we're likely to get resolution.
Very close.
yeah, that's not this group of staff, that's a different...
Discussions continue. We're at a point where we are at the last bit of understanding who's got full information and who hasn't in the last bit of analysis. So we're meeting with them again on the 3rd of September. So we'll be able to give a better update after that meeting.
Yeah, and it's not a criticism of EQC. EQC have limits in their legislation. So everything that they pay out, they have to have legislative authority to pay out. And in order to get their reinsurance, that's exactly what they have to do. And so what we've been doing is working very closely with EQC to make sure that our claim meets their legislative obligations. And I think we're getting much closer to a conclusion.
The previous concern that was expressed was that we'd done all of our assessment. We were waiting on EQC to finish their assessments, but it sounds like they've nearly got there, and that's the meeting of the two.
Yeah, it wasn't quite like that. I think that may have been how it was presented, but I think that there were some underlying issues about whether they felt that aspects of our claim met their legislative obligations. So we're working very closely now and very confident that we'll get there. Any other questions? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. Carried. Well, that would be the easiest off the hook presentation that staff have had today.
We've got 2 more items in there.
Yep. Oh.
In that report. They're outside social housing.
So that's
such.
okay. All right.
Yeah, okay.
So we can let the staff go.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Yep.
So the next item is the,
The rental register.
yes, development of bylaw or policy for residential rental register, and you would like to move that?
Yes, please. If I,
Now, is it the committee recommendation or the,
yes, it is the committee recommendation that,
oh yeah,
which is to adopt the staff recommendation.
and then
but
write
also,
to MB?
Yeah, to write
So-
to MB.
So can we move, what, 7.2 up to, oh, I see. How does this work? Sorry.
Page 341.
No, so that's all right, that's fine. No, moved and then seconded by Pauline Cotter. Yeah,
I think
Sorry.
it would be good if we could note that we remain open to the option of developing a local rental register. I say that for two reasons. One is that there's quite a bit of variance in the possible cost from $500,000 to 1.5. It could be that that's something we pursue in the activity management plan and in the long-term plan.
yeah, well, there isn't an allocation as pointed out in 5.1, so it would have to be a new...
No, that's right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
With the warrant of fitness, there will need to be some kind of national repository, as it were, for that information, so that would serve to become a rental register. So we think with the work that MB's doing, it probably not make sense to double up. We still think it would be useful, and it ties in some way to the next item.
Is it the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, or is it the Ministry of Housing that's located within the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment?
MB, that's our...
MB,
Yeah.
is that the overarching title
Yeah,
for every
yeah.
department within it? Is it?
Yep.
So they...
They seem to be
Well,
doing
who-
a
how
whole
do
lot
they
of housing
report
work.
to the Minister of Housing? Do they report to the Minister of Housing as MB?
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Eh? Yes, I know they have multiple ministers, but when I was one of those multiple ministers, there was a separate, it wasn't the Ministry of Economic Development, it was the Ministry of Commerce. It was, oh no, it was, yeah.
The former Department for Housing and Building is now within the unit.
MB, yeah. But like tourism still was its own separate. Oh, okay, no, all right. So it's the ministry, all right. So is there any discussion on that? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. And the next item, deputations by appointment.
This is with regard to the letting fees. If I could very quickly read out a short part of an email that's come through some time back from the Mayor's Welfare Fund. A woman has been in her home 12 months and the property manager has demanded a further week's rent of $450 just to re-sign the tenancy agreement called letting fees. So this person has, the woman has 3 children, she's on her own. The MB advice back on this is that for them this is the crux of the issue in the Residential Tenancies Act, that it's whether a current landlord may claim that they are in effect granting a new tenancy to existing tenants. So obviously we don't do this as a landlord ourselves, nor do the good girls who made a deputation to the committee, nor does, for instance, David Lawrence Real Estate in Burwood. So MB's view is that while it's not illegal, you know, we would have our own ethical conclusions to draw, and I think I would like us to take, or we would like us to take a position in an environment where rents have gone up 47% since the quakes. You know,
Right.
Is that reasonable to actually charge letting fees? So that could be a good debate if you want
Yep.
to.
So you'd like to move that?
Yes, please.
And seconded by Pauline Cotter. Is there any discussion? I'll put, Yanni?
Yeah, just to say, I really support this. I just wanted to draw council's attention to the Tenants Protection Association report that was done over a year ago into housing issues facing our city, and this is one of the things that came up really strongly. So encourage you to read that report to seek more information about why this is an important issue. I think it's really important we approach government as soon as possible over it. It is having a major impact on people.
Okay.
As Glenn said, we had a deputation from the Good Girls, and they maintain that their business is running perfectly viably without having to charge these repeated letting fees. And some agents will provide only a 6-month lease, and then you have to renew it, and then you charge the renewal fee again. So, you know, I seek that people do support this, because it doesn't seem to have to be charged in order to have a viable management business.
Yep, Tim?
When you say some groups are doing, say, a 6-month renewal, is that a property management company, or is that the owner? So the owners of the property may not be aware that that is happening with regards to the company. Okay.
Because the owner would see any of that. It would be called an administration fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's just a short right of reply. We wanted to be positive and affirm support of those who aren't doing this, but we also wanted to ask the government, you know, what are you going to do? Because it could be there's an anomaly in the Act that needs to be sorted out, because technically landlords can charge a fee, but that's at the beginning of a tenancy. It's this rolling over when the tenant's the same, which seems to be exploited in Christchurch.
Yep, no, that's good. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. That the report as a whole be adopted. Ben Livingston and Pauline Cotter. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. The